Tell me about where you were on 9/11.
9/11, I was in Georgetown, Kentucky at the Church of the Holy Trinity. And I was in the office and we heard that about what was happening in New York. So we turned on the parish television and we watched it and we were shocked. And then I gathered a few of the parishioners with Eileen and we had a prayer service for those who had died.
On that day?
On that day, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I think we were just spent the rest of the evening just being in shock.
Where you were on 9/11?
Asleep in my bed at home.
Okay.
My father-in-law called and said, they've hit the World Trade Center. I figured it out right away.
And where was your bed located?
In Phoenix, Arizona. I was on a day off, thankfully, because a lot of the people who were flying didn't get home for a good week and a half.
Right. And did you know anyone?
Oh, I didn't know anyone on the 4 fatal flights.
Okay.
But, my whole airline came to a grinding stop.
Tell me, Lance, where were you on 9/11?
On 9/11, I was actually in a car driving to my second class at seminary in Berkeley. It was, because it was in California, it was at 10 after 6 in the morning or something. And so we obviously spent that day in class speaking not about the subject that would normally be spoken of, but about 9/11.
Yes.
Tell me where you were on 9/11 and what you remember.
On 9/11, I was at home getting ready to go to JCPenney to have my picture taken for my new brokerage employment situation. I had to have a special digital photo taken.
Mm-hmm.
And the first tower was hit shortly before I was due to leave home. My husband told me about it and it was, oh my God, what's going on? But I had to leave because I had the appointment.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove to the Galleria in Poughkeepsie, which is where JCPenney was. And I walked in the store and it was absolutely silent. There were people who were employed there, but they were all sort of huddled together, just kind of whispering to each other about what had happened. And I went upstairs to the photographic studio on the second floor. And I said to the girl, do you want to do this today? Should I come back? She said, no, you have the appointment here, let's do this. So the photograph that I had taken that day is
On 9/11.
emblazoned in my memory.
Tell me where you were on September 11th.
Oh, I was in Weebatuck Elementary School because at the time I was a social worker over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told what had happened, that there had been, the buildings in New York had been attacked, and we were not telling the children yet because they were all going to be going home on the buses, and we were leaving it up to their parents to tell them what had happened. But the buses were getting all ready to go. It was really a very frightening day.
Where were you on 9/11?
On 9/11, 2001, I was at Salisbury School. It was the exact 100th birthday of the school because the school started on September 11th, 1901, and this was 2001. And we had an all-school picture out on Reeves Field and a huge balcony or huge grandstands, and everybody, all faculty, all students were in it. Then we came to the first day that this building was ever used was 9/11, 2001. We came up to our new classrooms, and at the time, we had televisions that came down from the ceiling. And I was in, and it was the first class of the year as well. So all new students. And I was talking to the kids as they were coming into class. And the teacher from across the way, Ralph Manconi, came over and he said, hey, turn the TV on. Something just happened down in New York. Some plane ran into a building or something. So I turned the TV on, and it got the channel just as a second plane went into the second building. And when he said the plane went in, I remembered in the 30s that a plane went into the Empire State Building by mistake. So I said, maybe that's what happened. But then when the second plane went in, of course, the buildings did not fall at first. They stood up, but they burst into flames. And I had a boy in my class. As the class was coming in, I was telling him what happened. The boy said, my dad works on the 90th floor of that building. And my heart stopped.
So, John, where were you on 9/11?
9/11 was the first day of classes of my first day at a new job. And so I was waiting in a boarding school in eastern New York State for school to start, surrounded by students from New York City when the news came in. Needless to say, we didn't go to class that day.